All right, folks, we are all ready and set up for our next run. We are about to see an amazing run of Gunstar Heroes that is being run by Tempest Steve. Take it away, Tempest Steve.
Sega.
The galaxy in their grayscale image. The remaining guardians of Gunstar Dynasty are all that's left against this massive empire. Their mission, overcome Emperor Grey and recover the 4 mythical gems, even if it means fighting their own or dying trying.
And with that, hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000. Some of you know me as Steve. Welcome, one and all, to Gunstar Heroes. This is a fantastic Genesis classic and the first commercially released game by Treasure, a legendary developer best known for a lot of run and gun and shmup actions, and was very, very keen on just putting a lot of games out for this old thing. So, We're gonna do an any % easy run, which means I'm gonna be running the game on the easiest difficulty for y'all. And joining me is a packed crew of commentators within the community themselves. That first one you just heard was the man Cronoon.
Yo, I'm Cronoon. Ian.
Joining is a fantastic top-notch runner in his own right, Dagron.
Hello, I am Dagron SR. You probably remember me as a runner who ran this for GameStunt Quick. I think it was back in 2022. I also may
expert, yes.
Yes, on expert. And I sometimes go by the name Shaddix as well. You might recognize that name. Well, probably not. So you can just call me Dagron SR.
And last but certainly not least, Xantamon.
Hey, I'm Xantamon, he, him. I primarily run easy mode of this game, my favorite Genesis game, and also the one-roll no RNG hack that we have available for it.
Which is actually a really nice thing to bring up because the first level actually applies to that sort of thing, but yeah, no, absolutely. All right, folks, so time will begin once I select one player. And just for a little fun fact, this is actually being run on a Genesis Mini, which is technically an emulator, but an officially launched Sega product, which allows you to hook up to a TV and a capture card. And it's a really, really cool thing. I definitely recommend it for those that are interested in trying to recreate the whole Genesis experience. But with that, we're going to start things off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast away.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, we're going to start things off. I just made 2 selections, the first being fixed shot and the other being the flame element. So to quickly explain, fixed shot, as the name implies, when my character is firing, he will not be able to move. Free shot, you would be able to do so. Kind of like how fixed shot, if you're familiar with Rockman and Forte, that's how bass plays in that game. So that's basically the comparison I go to. And then the flame element, that's going to be my starting element for my gun. If by any chance I die and continue, the gun will automatically reload to flame no matter what. And it's a very powerful weapon that's especially good for close range situations and all sorts of other stuff. My preferred combination is going to be the flame chaser element. Flame is something I already explained. Chaser is more of a homing gun, so that also kind of explains itself. But the really cool thing about Gunstar Heroes is that you can combine elements, and you can also swap between them on the fly. So you're going to see me do Flame Chaser a lot. And Dagron, why is that a very powerful combination in its own right?
Yeah, so the Flame Chaser has this innate ability to actually neutralize all enemy fire. And that's so important, especially as you go up higher in difficulties and enemies are firing a lot more. It nullifies a huge part of enemy threats to have that sort of ability. It's also a long-range weapon, so you can tackle a lot of threats from really far away.
Ooh, I think we're going to my favorite one. We'll explain the whole purpose of the stage in a bit. Oh no, sorry, I spoke too soon. How could you, Pit? You give one of my favorite video protagonists a bad name.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned about the long-range capabilities of Flame Chaser, but in the easy mode run, there's actually an even better method for damaging any sort of, like, major bosses with a large health pool, and that's the physical attack. In easy difficulty, the physical attack does the most damage in the entire game. As you go up higher in difficulty, the amount of damage physical attacks do is greatly increased or decreased. So, yeah, I think in easy difficulty, every legitimate hit with the physical attack is 100 points of health pool to a boss. So very, very powerful.
Yeah, and when Shadex says physical attacks, we're talking about the slide attack, the standing slide attack, and the throws that you can do when you're in melee range.
Oh, and also the jumping melee attack, which is like either a body slam or kicking, depending on red or blue. Yeah, the throw is so powerful. If you ever try to speedrun this with a second player, the run is basically throwing him at everything the whole way through. It's really
shout out to Tapatio, Jay, and Bag the Tea for their GDQ co-op run, which is a spectacular watch.
The reason we started here on this level, just by nature of speedruns, this is a very heavy reset point. This level is like a casino. You throw a die, and depending on what roll you get is how many spaces you move forward. And what we're trying to avoid is just the way back space, which is 2 from here. So we landed on an item room just before the way back space. So we now have to roll a 2 or a 3 to skip that, and a 1.
So 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3 chance of going backward. Oh god,
the 1 will send us all the way back to the beginning of the board.
Come on, please.
Yes. Okay, good.
My streak has not been broken yet. Let's go. I have not gotten away back in an event just yet, and then I've only run this, 3 events so far? Shout out to Segathon and Fleet Fest. Oh, shout out to the cow, by the way. We gotta make mention to that, of course.
That always reminds me of Earthworm Jim 2, where you beat a stage and they say, "Well done."
Okay, I guess I'm doing this then.
So here's a demonstration of the damage that the melee attacks pump out. This boss is completely killable with just jump attacks.
Whoa, glitched dice.
Nice.
That's never happened before.
That yet. Yeah, I haven't seen that before.
I swear, every single time I do an event run, it always happens in some way, shape, or form. Okay, let's position myself right here. I think that should be good. Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Nice.
Obviously, similar to like a Mega Man speedrun, the reason I positioned myself right there is because once the gem finishes hitting the floor, my character automatically starts moving. So at the most optimal position, they don't have to. And that's exactly what happened there.
Right. And I think as Xanto said, but the thing is with that stage is the dice rolls are random. We had looked into that dice, as possibly being manipulatable, but no, it's not manipulatable. Tassers have looked at it. It's not manipulatable.
If I remember, it's based off like a frame timer. So like literally you have to play the whole game frame perfect throughout that stage to manipulate it. Like that's, so not happening.
Yeah.
By the way, one thing about this stage right here is that the village huts for the miniature natives, I want to avoid destroying those because that causes a lot of lag on the screen if they explode.
Yeah,
All right, here's Bravoo Man. Sorry, we'll quickly get this guy out of the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bravoo Man, all my homies love this theme. But yeah, no, go ahead, Xanto.
The downside of the melee attacks is they cause a little bit of pause, like in the hit stun, when you're hitting the actual enemies. So while you're making your way through your stages, even though jumping and dive kicking is the fastest method of movement, you want to avoid hitting anything at all because those frames will add up and be a time loss in the end.
All right, so far so good.
Sorry, where Steve is at is a safe spot. It's
Yes. Meaning nothing can hit me, and yada, so on and so forth. Bees! Oh,
Not the bees!
That was actually not the best luck with the bees, though. I hardly get... it's weird, because when I practiced this, they were not even doing any sort of pushback, but I guess they decided marathon luck or something like that. Alright, so, say hi to Pink, and then we're gonna... Oh, wait, that's, that was a little unexpected. And then we're gonna say goodbye to Pink. I didn't expect to get knocked up there. Alright, no problem.
yeah, Pink gets kind of
another
melted
exam-
pretty quickly.
Big time, yeah. Fun fact, she's supposed to be a bounty hunter. Oh yeah, we should probably talk about the lore of this game really quick. This is interesting. So, for the longest time, I never really knew. But, the lore that Kranoon mentioned as part of the little scripted bit that I asked him to adapt from basically applies to the English manual of the game. So, in the English manual, the professor guy was Gunstar White from back in the day, who defeated the ultimate doomsday weapon, Gold and Silver, and sealed him away in the moon. And the world is supposedly called Gunstar 9. And then the Empire rises up. Colonel Red suddenly appears and starts to cause havoc, and then brainwashes one of the Gunstar Dynasty members into working for him to collect the gems. And yeah, but in the Japanese manual or information, this is Earth, but Gold and Silver caused a massive amount of destruction, and the Gunstar heroes, red, blue, green, and yellow, defeated it, sealed it away in the moon, and then went into cryogenical sleep or something like that. And now that it's been awakened by General Gray, the actual leader of the Empire, they get found by Dr. Brown, which is the professor guy, and then he defects from the Empire, and now the Gunstar heroes, sans Green, is trying to stop Gold and Silver from being reawakened. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do a nice little thing that I like to. Hold on. Aw, man. Okay, there's too many enemies. I'll wait for just a moment. But yeah, this is generally an auto-scroller level, really. There's not much to worry about except for trying to defeat the enemies from the train cars, because if I don't destroy them, then the level technically won't progress. So it's kind of mostly an auto-scroller, but yeah, as you saw, I can jump to the ceiling, and I was trying to do a little hover thing, which I'll attempt to do one more time. I was kind of busy just describing the story, like, it do be like that.
And I love Treasure, but they really love their auto-scrollers.
Yeah. The other time save in this level probably doesn't apply to the Genesis Mini or any port of the game, but if you're playing on original hardware, there's a little bit of lag reduction to be made by not firing your weapon too much.
Genesis Mini still has some forms of lag for sure, and I think even the 3DS port, which I also own. So I think there's still a little bit of faithfulness to it. Alright, so now I'm going to face the legendary 7 Force, and I'm going to be facing one of 5 possible forms between Valkyrie, Medusa, Sylphide, Artemis, and Cyrene. Wait a second, that's not right.
Wait, do you think you're some kind of alien soldier? What's going on here?
Oh, excuse me. Alright, sorry. But in reality, yeah, so this is 7 Force, and there are 7 possible forms to choose from. And yeah, we're actually getting some pretty good luck. In the easy run, I only have to fight 3, and it'll always begin with Soldier Force no matter what difficulty you take him on. And yes, this is being piloted by the aforementioned Gunstar Green. Our third form is... Aw, come on. I hate fighting the kitty.
Yeah, Tiger Force is not good luck.
So different runners tend to have different preferences for what phases they like. I personally like the Phoenix Force on the second one and the Blaster Force on the third because it has a little sweet spot where you don't take any damage. But I know Tempest has different preferences.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer Soldier, Urchin, and then Blaster in that order.
I
Yeah, that's
really
not
like
a bad
Crab Force
stage.
myself.
Crab
For
Force
me-
is cool.
For me, I'm fine with either one, a Tail or Eagle, in the second phase, and then Blaster. Everyone prefers Blaster. If you get Blaster, you're loving life.
That boss was named 7 Force, but on easy you only fight 3 forms. You fight the first one, the second, one form of the second group of phases, and then one form of the final group. And as you go higher in difficulty, you fight more of them all the way up to all 7 forms.
Yeah. For instance, normal is 4.
Yeah.
And in Expert, it's all, as said, all 7. It's quite an exhausting fight when it is all 7.
It's pretty legendary, though. A lot of people really look back to this boss, and it's just an impressive example of the Genesis's technical features with sprites and just how Treasure were a master of their craft with this kind of thing. Like, it's no understatement just how amazingly technological that boss truly is.
It really is.
Yeah, Treasure really pioneered boss fights with multiple sprites as part of the boss, all moving dynamically, transforming, shifting, all having different AI. They did that a lot, and not many other Genesis games did that. There's definitely some other technically impressive Genesis games, but Treasure definitely was early and did a lot.
It's funny because this game wasn't originally the one that they started with in terms of programming. That was actually McDonald's, but they decided, you know what, we're probably better off launching our own game first to introduce ourselves, and then we'll do McDonald's, and yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so
All right.
this is Orange's stage. The beginning part of it is just a pretty typical vertical auto scroller, but as we get into this little surface of the ship, I guess there's a little bit of a gauntlet that you have to run with turrets and a mini boss, and then a very notorious glitch that can happen, which Shadex knows a lot about.
Yeah, I guess I could explain that. So you kind of might notice the stages bobbing up and down, like the actual stage itself. Well, it goes on a cycle, and that has to finish whatever cycle it's on, which it did here. So we're not going to see the glitch, thankfully.
Woo.
But if it does not allow, if the game scrolls all the way to the left and right around the point where you encounter this guy here, which is we like to just call him M. Bison, it will actually glitch out the stage itself, and then it will cause it to disappear for a short while. And by a short while, we're talking about something to the effect of like 2-ish minutes.
Yeah.
It looks really
unfortunately,
cool, but
it looks cool, but unfortunately it did happen to Taps and Bag in their run, so yeah.
It also glitches out the stage select screen after, which is kind of funny to see.
Yeah. Sometimes during the glitch moments, you'll like catch a frame where you see Orange's body like actually submerged into the ground. You'll see it here. You'll see his sprite right there. He's like in the ground. You'll see like moments of that in the glitched form, like every frame or so. It's a pretty funny glitch to see happen. So, but it does take up time if it does happen. So you know, ideally you don't want to have it happen during a marathon run.
Oh man, so moving on to this stage. Yeah. This highway stage is pretty nasty. Really long, and if you happen to die, you happen to do the whole stage from the beginning, and it just gets harder the farther along you go. Gonna be fighting multiple mini-bosses, gonna be fighting harder and harder phantoms, so like 3 fights. Want to melee them, throw bombs at them if you can for a lot of damage. And then at the end, which we'll get to later, we're gonna fight Bison, and he's a Street Fighter, so it's gonna be a little bit scary. Then we'll be clear for the time being. But yeah, definitely a lot, and there's just so many more sprites, so many more projectiles the higher up in difficulty you go.
That was good.
That was a really nice UFO kill. You can throw those flying saucers at the color phantoms, and it deals pretty much their entire health worth of damage and just kills him instantly. If you manage to get it.
Ooh, that was a good amount of physical there.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Ooh,
Two
really
in
nice
a
Ozzy kills.
row. Yeah. Oh, that's really good luck. Oh, come on. Thank you. I do not like those walkers, though.
Yeah, the walkers are difficult, and they get harder to deal with.
Ooh, that was
Progressively. I mean, after this one. After that one just dies.
It's self-destructed. One of the soldiers hit the self-destruct button. Apparently, it had one in the first place.
Yeah, the walkers have pretty wonky hitboxes. You can actually wall kick off of their face and lose a bit of time that way, and they can kind of juggle you in their feet and do some pretty nasty damage.
Evidently, you could also throw an enemy at them, as I ended up finding out.
Oh, come on, Smash, please don't. He was just having the time of his life. No, come on. I want a refund.
So just as a quick note, the name of that enemy was Love Soldier. Just has to be clear on that.
Okay.
And he
Gonna
killed
be
him.
a little careful.
This first phase of Smash Daisaku is pretty straightforward. You keep a Flame Chaser on him, which I don't know if we touched on, but you can control the snake, the Flame Chaser snake. It automatically tracks enemies, but with the D-pad you can override its movement, and you just keep that tracked on him and deal
Oh,
damage.
come on. That failed. All right. Let's try again. Oh, okay. I'm going to need a little bit of serious time.
Okay, we'll talk about it. So, yeah, he's another one of those characters that can grab you, and grabs do a lot of damage, so ideally Steve wants to avoid taking any sort of unnecessary throws, because each throw will do like 20 damage. So at his current health, he's got enough health for like 3.
Nice.
That wasn't
nice
too bad.
fight.
Good job.
Good job.
I gotta say, though, shout out to that rather clutch fight that I had for the Segathon one. Cypherin would know exactly what I went through in order to barely survive that one.
Yeah, so
I'll have to check that run out.
Some bosses are really susceptible to throw attacks, like this one. Others, you can bait certain attacks out, and it'll prevent them from getting hit stun or iframes for the duration of that attack, and you can deal more damage with Flame Chaser. It's just it's a matter of personal preference and what strats you want to go for.
Now, a quick little thing about the cutscenes. So in the stage select, I was selecting the levels with start, and then I was doing this to automatically skip Dr. Brown's dialogue, because up until now that was a thing. But for this last bit where we will go back to the stage select after having rescued Yellow from the Empire, I have to hold the button in order to get through this little discussion saying that he dug out a ship and was able to fix it for us. So this would probably be a good time to crack open a can of Dr. Love in my hand.
I'm sorry, I don't have a can to join you with.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, well, that failed. Okay, I'll figure it out in a second. Oh wait, I got it. Never mind. Ooh. All right, I'm good. All right, so yeah, we got a shmup now. So Treasure and their genre shifts here and there, I suppose. This one's actually not too bad, but much like the last stage, I want to be very careful, because until we get inside of the battleship that just took off, there will be no checkpoints. So on the offset chance that I die, that's going to be a lot of time loss, and that's not fun. In fact, when I started running this game, I will admit, I had to deal with quite a bit of that.
Yeah, I want to say this is like a 7-minute checkpoint or something, so if you die right at the end, you have to do it all the way over from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's often the bar that sort of keeps people away from expert, because in expert it's very, very, very brutal.
We saw
84,
Timer on
not too
earlier
bad.
in Black Stage, and we just saw him again for a split second.
Yeah, if you want to know about that whole thing, so it's meant to be like a mini game where you have to last as long as possible. I think that's what that all is about.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you
Yeah,
try to
like an hour
avoid
or
his bullets for as long as possible. You don't want to get hit once, I think. Once resets it or stops it.
No, you do take damage. It doesn't. You can take damage, and it won't stop the game. It's until you destroy it.
Oh.
Oh, is that it? I mean, none of us know because we just kill him as fast as possible every time.
He has.
The only reason
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the only reason I remember it is from my casual playthrough, so, you know.
Yeah, he is part of the mythical 100% run over this that no one has ever done, which is when you get every space in Black Stage, and also do the secret ending on Timeron, which I think is survive for an hour against him.
I didn't realize there was a secret ending, wow.
Yeah, there's a little secret developer message, I think, if you survive for that long.
Sheesh, that would be something to figure out, but yeah. There's not really much else to explain at the moment, I'd say. Oh, well, there is one thing. So if you are playing with 2 players, by this point, there is a extra gunner that the second player can take on, so it's pretty helpful for co-op runs, and also, oh yeah, now I remember. Xanto alluded to a one-roll version of the game where someone was able to mod the game so that Black's Dice Palace will always hit 1s for rolls, and there is a separate category for that on the leaderboard if you want to try that out yourself. It's not too bad because it does take away some of the most infamous RNG the game has to offer in the first place. You know what to expect.
It also serves as very good practice for any space that you might struggle with on Dice Palace. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a second.
It happens to me all the time. I feel you there. So yeah, this would probably we do got a little bit of a couple of mini bosses, but Fox, I think this would be a great time for any announcements if you have any.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I definitely appreciate this. Has been this has definitely been a game. This has been really fun to watch. Right now, I just want to throw out a quick reminder that who are we raising money for? No Holidays Allowed is raising money for Go Rescue, a dog shelter in Norfolk, Virginia. Go Rescue works to provide a haven for homeless dogs, giving them the time, care, and love that they need to find not just any home, but the right home. Also a note on our on our incentives, Payday 3, final level upgrade to Overkill. That is still $15 away from being met, and that run is next. So I really encourage you to get those last-second donations in if you want to see that incentive met, because that is in the next run.
Big shout out to my friend Metroid Crime, who earlier in the marathon did Curse Crackers, For Whom the Bell Toils, which is another game that I run. I'm looking forward to seeing what she and Indie Villain have to offer for that showcase, and hopefully one of these days I'll find someone to play my copy of Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition on my Xbox with, because I am way behind in just having played it at all. Alright, so I hope you all didn't miss 7 Force for too long. Oh gosh, wait a second.
Ooh.
That was a nasty hit right there. What the G's happened?
This is actually the most dangerous part of the auto-scroller, and it happens to be right at the end. Those little cluster bombs deal all their damage at the same time if you're right on them, so they can instantly kill you from full HP.
Oh gosh. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be very careful, because that was very unexpected, and oh, that would have been a horrible way to get really awakened there. Let's just at least explain that at the very least, we do not want to see Eagle Force, because if I attempt to fire while Eagle Force is present, it will lag the game no matter what.
Yeah, ideally anything besides Eagle Force, and you
Yes!
want the boss.
Oh,
that was a really
nice
nice
kill
position on
spot.
it. Yeah. You want the boss to be
Fantastic.
at the bottom or the left of the screen to get off the screen as quickly as possible once it dies.
That was some
Which we did just that.
fantastic luck. Oh my god, I didn't think I'd be
nice
seeing
health,
that again. Yeah, the weapon bird, we should quickly talk, because that thing initially drops one thing from just hitting it with your basic weapon, but if you hit it a couple of times with your melee attacks, it'll drop a couple of other stuff, and it'll drop one more thing if an enemy hits it. But yeah, now to the core unit defense system. This is the unit of the hammer, and this is probably the potentially trolliest version of the core units. And there we go. That was pretty good. So one attack that it could have done is a sweeping move, and it would have been doing that for quite a while. So thankfully, that was not the case. Now for unit of the dragon. Kranun, what's the deal with that one?
Well, it flies around, so you go and kick in the face.
Pretty much, like so. Oh, crud, I whiffed it. I'm a fake gamer. Okay, there we go.
Got a few
No,
good
it's
kicks
a
on him.
little bit tricky to get that first hit in. Yeah, it's a wall jump off the wall where there's no walls, and then get him early. The window's a little bit small.
And here's Vector Man.
Yeah. Shout out to Vector Man. And it makes sense though. Vector Man is on the Genesis Mini after all.
It does shoot,
That's a
blue
great
energy.
game too. If you've never played it, can be a little bit difficult though.
Just a shout out in general to the Genesis Mini. It has a really solid collection of games, including the elusive Mega Man, the Wily Wars, as well as some Disney titles. And extra shout out to the Model 2, which came out last year. The Genesis Mini 2 has some extra cool stuff. It started incorporating Sega CD titles, so you can play Sonic CD, the original version. You can do Hideo Kojima's Snatcher, and it's just really nice stuff. Personally, I hope that the Model 3, if Sega decides to do it, will have Pulse Man, because that unfortunately was a little absent, and maybe alongside it we'll get some 32X games as well.
I am totally approve of Pulseman.
Thankfully, it's on the Switch Virtual Console Genesis app, so, you know, they made up for it somehow.
And yes, Sega CD hype. Sonic
Yeah,
CD hype, yeah.
Shout out to
Sega
Fox, who is a
CD
CD runner.
Yeah.
So we're going here
Alright.
through a little gauntlet of boss refights, though they're not the exact same as they were in the stages. They're taking two different mechs and different strategies in their attacks. So this is a Pink's refight, which is actually split into 3 stages. You saw the henchman earlier that you want to get on top of the mech for and just do slides on top of him, and then that was the Pink refight. I think it's like Pink Lobster or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the respective names of the minions, one of them is Kotaro. I can't remember the other one, though.
Duck.
Duck?
That would be a good
Duck
assumption.
Battalion. It's Duck Battalion.
Oh, Duck Battalion. Oh, right. They're both duck.
It's Duck and Battalion.
So, we're back to Orange, and he's unleashed his inner Street Fighter, going full Guile on us. And yeah, I think we forgot to bring up that his most important attack, and most devastating at that from the original fight, is literally called Break Wind. Yes, he uses his own gas as an attack. What a guy. What a beefcake.
Yeah, that was also a very scary fight. He has an ability that can, similarly to the cluster bombs in the auto-scroller, can deal all its damage at once and just kill you outright.
I think that's a
Big
good
bang
positioning.
attack.
Big bang.
And are we
So
going
this
for
is
the
cool.
skip here? Oh, I didn't quite do it. So there's you can skip this entire phase here, which is pretty long, by starting the fight with a jump kick at a pretty precise moment, and you push him to his the HP threshold for his 3rd phase, and you just save a lot of time, kill him pretty quickly.
Okay, come on, game. Let me on there.
The other guy was named Kane, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Kotaro and Kane? Was that right?
Yes. Yes.
And I think that boss was called Black Fly.
Yes.
He's called that because he
Unfortunate
flies
that
around.
unfortunate that I didn't get the quick kill, but oh well. This shouldn't be too bad.
We get this though.
Yes. All right. Good.
Nice.
That's not a hard one to do. It's just that maybe once out of every 5 times he might decide to do something else, and then you have to like deal with him anyway. If it's anything that's not easy difficulty, though, this quick kill is impossible. Oh, here's my specialty, the throw of disrespect.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that. So you didn't see much of the fight there. We just unlocked him with the flame chaser at his feet, but he can actually start blocking it, and there's no way to influence that or avoid it. He either gets stun locked for the entire fight or he doesn't, and you have to either find the stun lock again or just kill him a different way.
It's a really brutal fight without the stun lock.
Yeah.
I'm told it's random.
Yep.
It can. I mean,
believe
it could
it's
be
entirely
random. It could be. So yeah, despite the fact that Gray is the bad guy, we don't fight him at all. And not even in the sequel game for Game Boy Advance Gunstar Superheroes. This guy's just a clown all around. But we do get to face Gold and Silver. So, yeah.
A much more worthy person for your final fight.
And he decided to do that attack first. So unfortunately, I wasn't quite able to get the positioning, but second time's the charm.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that earlier, we had to give up the gems that we collected to do a hostage trade with Yellow, who was kidnapped earlier, and we just destroyed the gems.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, time will be coming up once the screen fades to black after this cutscene. So let's get ready on that.
It's not going to be this fade coming up here.
Nah.
It'll be after yellow guy goes off the screen.
Yeah, there's like a fade to white and then a fade to black.
All right. And this was a very solid run. Time.
GG.
Oh,
GG.
that felt very good.
GG indeed. That was a fantastic run. Let's see. I am getting your time in just a second.
Take your
RTA
time.
is 33:23.
Very nice.
33.
Very
nice. Yeah.
Actually, let me go ahead and quickly take a look just to make sure, because I gotta know.
PB?
Could be. Well, while I'm quickly looking for that, I'm gonna let my commentators quickly plug themselves. So, where can these wonderful people find each of you all?
Should I go first?
Why not?
I guess I'll go. All right. So you can, well, I mean, I'm kind of like been a bit inactive for about a year and a half. I'm trying to get back into it though. But you'll find me on my Twitch channel at 5 Haddocks, which is supposed to be Shaddocks, but the name was not available, so I had to change the S to a 5.
Numbers are cool.
Yeah, numbers are convenient like that. How about you, Cronin?
That's me. Hey, so I at twitch.tv/Chronoon, CHRONOON. December's gonna suck for me, but I do try to be live in the morning, and I do all sorts of stuff. Haven't been speedrunning for a bit, casual stuff, all over the place. Love Treasure. Usually get back to them and get stuck into them for a long time. Those games are great. And yeah, I'm around. Usually, probably. Santa?
Twitch.tv/Xantomon. I also want to give a shout out to the Dice Palace support group, the speedrun Discord for Gunstar. If you're interested in this or Gunstar Superheroes, which is the GBA game, we have a really helpful Discord. And please get into this game. It's very accessible, both in the run itself and getting to play it. It's on like every console in the past 4 generations. It's on
even
Steam
on
for
phone.
$1.
It's on Android and iOS.
Yeah, it's on
I've been,
Steam for $1. It's on Switch Online on the expansion pass, the Genesis Mini, as mentioned earlier, which we're playing on right now. And yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, though... Oh, sorry. You go ahead first.
Okay, I was just gonna say, and we're not very, like, super strict about the emulator use. I mean, give or take, there is some emulators we do have banned, but more because, other communities have them banned. But we're pretty generous when it comes to anything that's like a legal copy of the game, whether it's running off an emulator or not. That's all.
I will say the iOS version I was having a little trouble finding recently, so we'll have to see the availability on that one. But yeah, the Steam version is super duper cheap and very accessible. And if you happen to have acquired the 3DS version before time ran out on the eShop like I did, you also get access to an amazing mode called Gunslinger mode, which we do have a leaderboard category for as well. And I hope to soon run that very, very soon. But yeah, gentlemen, that was a 1-minute PB.
Wow.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
GG.
It was those
And I
saucer
will-
kills, man. Those were
It
slick.
had to have been. Yeah,
This salts
absolutely.
are out. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah,
And it can only get better.
We'll approve of that. Yeah. So some of us are actually moderators on the leaderboard too, so we got to actually witness this run firsthand.
Heck yeah. Wonderful. All right, well, let's go ahead and, yeah, Xanto, you definitely saved me the trouble of plugging the Discord server. Definitely join that, though, folks. We love having new folks, and shout out to the entire community as well. Each and every one of y'all is just some wonderful people there. And with that in mind, if you all would like to check me out, my Twitch is TempestMask1000. I have a YouTube channel of the same name. If you want to find me on Twitter, at @It'sTempestSteve is where you will want to go, and then Blue Sky at TempestMask. And yeah, no, absolutely. This was a solid run. Thank you so much to the No Glitches crew for having me for yet another No Holidays Allowed and choosing this game. And thank you all to my fantastic comms crew for such a great time and having the availability to do this too. And with that in mind, we still got a little bit of marathon left to go, so friends, keep supporting Go Rescue. As someone whose family owns a dog, I feel quite obligated to give all the dogs out there whatever Go Rescue can help, a home that is and will be their forever home. Until we next meet, this is Tempest signing out. Ciao, amici.
Thank you so much for that, Tempest Steve. And with that, we are going to be heading to a quick intermission while we set up for the next run. That is going to be Payday 3, done as a 2-player co-op run by Indie Villain and Metroid Crime. So make sure to stick around to see that. Thank you so much for joining. If you are just joining us here at No Holidays Allowed 2023, we are raising money for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. Even though we are on day 4 of the marathon, we still have incentives open for you to donate towards. We still have the ability to really last minute update the final Payday 3 level to Overkill. That is the next run, so if you really want to see that, now is the time to donate towards that incentive. It is currently at $35 and for a $50 goal, so I believe, if I am capable of doing math, which I don't know if I am, if I'm going to be quite honest, we should be about $15 away from hitting that goal, so we are quite close. And we still have the ability to pick M-Chan's game. That is 2 runs from now, which I mean, you still have time for that, but I would really hurry up and donate towards that if you really want to shake this up. Currently, New Super Luigi U is in the lead with $55, with New Super Mario Bros. 2 trailing behind with $25. I mean, you never know. Sometimes big donations come into these polls and we see things turned on its head and utter chaos ensues. And I don't know, but sometimes a little chaos is kind of fun in a marathon, so we'll see what happens with that. But of course, yeah, we do still have those incentives, even though we are kind of winding down into the latter half of today. And of course, you can still donate to support our wonderful charity. We will be reading your donation comments on the stream. So, maybe that's an incentive to hear myself or one of our other wonderful hosts, read what you have to say.